Alright, welcome to the AHGL regular season. Match 1. It's going to be between Google Cardboard and Western Digital. It is a best of 5 format. We're starting just here, the 0-0. So let's get game 1 underway. So it is going to be a ZVZ here. We have Horribler, the blue Zerg, spawning in the southwesterly position for Google Cardboard, going against FatYeti here, the green Zerg, spawning in the northeasterly position for Western Digital. We are playing on FoxTrot Labs, Ladder Edition. Fairly large 1v1 map, a fairly wide natural, which really promotes some aggressive link play. Third, not much better. And what's very interesting about this map is the gold bases sitting here in the middle, here and here. So these gold bases are actually, again, you can see the minerals. The minerals actually block most ground movement while all of the patches are still there. So you can assault the mining workers from the far side. Which, again, for ZVZ, it's unlikely this will ever come into play. For the most part, that ZVZs tend not to go long enough to get to the gold bases. But also because Zerg ground units don't have a whole lot of range. Particularly, Ling Baneling will not be able to do anything here. Not even the Baneling Splash will hit the worker on the other side. Overlords passing each other here. We have fairly identical builds here for the openings. We have pools going down for both players at approximately the same time. We do see a gas go down for Horribler, so he is going to try and get that early speed, whereas we see FatYeti here is going to go for that hatchery. He's not going to take the geyser. So hatch pool for him, and pool gas here for Horribler. Does throw just 2 drones onto the geyser. So he'll be mining that gas a little more slowly than he would otherwise be doing. And he is racking up those minerals, so he could, and it looks like he will. He's going to send out that drone and go build his own natural hatchery a little later than his opponents. Just a little more than half a minute later. Overlord moves in, is going to scout that, at about the same time that this Overlord will scout that base as well. You see FatYeti's Overlord move in, does see the hatchery, and it looks like, yeah, he's going to just pull back immediately. He's seen what he needs to see. Pool's done. Queen started. Second Overlord coming out for Horribler here. Looks like that was a little late. Drones for Horribler here. No Lings yet for... Actually, no, we do have 2 Lings out for FatYeti. They're going to move in here. They're going to run into the Queen, but the Queen is on move command, so they're going to get right past it. And they're going to get straight to the mineral line here. So straight after drone, they get 1. Looks like they're going to get a second one, too. Are they going to get a third? Drones run away, try to bait this around, and they get it, and then pull away. Gets 1 Zergling. Almost loses a 3rd drone there, but it looks like the Zerglings will pop out to save the day. But it looks like that has really rattled our Zerg player here. He has a lot of minerals that he just spent on 12 Zerglings. They're just going to try to use that. Looks like he will be going somewhat aggressive here. Green Zerg is going for that quick Baneling Nets. Speed on the white for both players. About halfway here, a little more than halfway there. So slightly faster for Horribler, but not that much faster. Looks like this was started late. He had the gas sitting there for a little while. We have some Ling on Ling action right here, and the green ones were on move command, so FatYeti takes the short end of that engagement. Loses 3 Zerglings versus just the 1 of Horribler there, but both of them will pull back. Horribler's happy with the trade. We have him pooling Lings here in his main. Speed is done. 16 more Lings on the way, so we're going to have a giant Ling flood here. And looks like FatYeti is sensing what up because he's building a ton of Lings himself. Things are about to get extremely high octane. Zergling's running out. Zergling's running out. We're going to have an engagement here. They're going to be right on the ramp. And the Superior Concave is just for the blue player, so green will retreat. 2 Banelings starting. No Baneling nest for our blue Zerg. So he will not be able to keep on this pressure for very long. You really do need Banelings to fight Banelings. As we see from the worker count, our green Zerg is actually ahead by 10 workers. Looks like those 2 Lings have really rattled this build. We do have a Roach Warren going down. But the Lings are coming. And these 2 Banelings, these are so important. We're building 4 more. FatYeti is just gonna go for it. He's got bigger army, more economy. Runs in here. Banelings go off, but they don't actually kill very much. The Ling counts do even up. Spine on the way. Again, our blue Zerg has to run from these Banelings constantly. He's gonna lose the Queen because he can't protect it. Runs the Lings in, and the Banelings kill all of them. Ling count now heavily in favor of the green Zerg, FatYeti. He's going to get this hatchery. Horrible cannot save it. His supply is doubled. Down 9 workers. He's got half the army supply of his opponent. We'll see the Lings run in from those blue Lings. They will start to engage here, but the Lings spawn and do chase them out. Lings here do live, do not get surrounded. But we've got 6 more Banelings morphing in here. They're going to be escorted up the ramp. One of them does go off, kills most of the Zerglings on the south side. We're going to run in here, and there's no money. There's a few roaches on the way. Banelings take out the spine and the drones. Everything dies. That is the end of game 1. Okay, so the score is it is 1-0. Western Digital is leading over Google Cardboard here. We're going into game 2 of match 1. It's going to be on Catallena Ladder Edition. We're going to be playing with Mimimi, the blue Zerg, the blue random, technically, I believe, for Google Cardboard, against Jael here. Jael, I'm going to go with Jael. Jael here, the green Terran, playing for Western Digital. And so this is an odd map. This is a 3-player map. It's kind of like merry-go-round, in that it's rotationally symmetric for these players. So we've got Mimimi spawning. Mimimi is actually spawning in the position he wants to be in because he expands now in this direction, away from the Terran player, which, as a Zerg, that's what you want. Whereas if he had spawned here, he would be expanding towards the Terran player, which would make things like tank pushes and drops that much more annoying and difficult to deal with. He is sending his Overlord out to scout. He is unfortunately sending it to the wrong base, so he will discover the location of his Terran opponent. Or he will know up here the location of his Terran opponent because he's not here. But he won't know what he's doing until he gets over here. So maybe he's saving up those drones. Looks like he will be going for a hatch first on 14. So a little greedy. Barracks and refinery going down here for the Terran. So he will be going for that fast Reaper. And yeah, we do see that hatchery down. Pool will be following. We'll see if he tries to go extra greedy and throw in a gas before the pool as well, which may prove unwise. Terran player does not know where his opponent is yet. He will see this Overlord in time, but it looks like he will have to just scout out with the Reaper. Pool goes down before gases, so not a super greedy opening here. Second supply depot goes down, and we should... There's the 5th gas, so there goes the Reaper. Reaper is starting, continuing to mine gas. So he will be able to get, if he chooses to get extra barracks quickly, he will be able to get that stim and combat shield very quickly. He could also go for very fast medevacs, if he so chooses, or just a fast factory. SCV scout coming in. He will walk right by this hatchery and come into the main here. Spawning pool just finishing, so there's no defensive units to deny this SCV yet. And the Reaper is coming out. So we're going... Reaper should change course, and he does. So the Queen and Ling's on the way. 6 Lings. Alright, so he really wants to deny this Reaper here. But he is... Looks like he's going to have to do a little bit of drone dancing. Actually, these Lings might barely finish in time. Reaper comes up here and takes a nap, so there will be no drone dancing. Starts to take some pot shots at these Lings, but he will need some micro, and does not. Loses that Reaper instantly. That's very unfortunate. He didn't scout anything. Didn't see the gases. Didn't see Queens. He's now going... The Terran is now going for a command center on the low ground, and yes, as we can see here, he's desperately starting a wall because he has no defense against these 6 slow Lings that are incoming. He's got a barracks. He went for the reactor, so he's got no Marines. He's producing 2 Marines right now. But he's not going to have the wall up in time. He's going to have to deal with these 6 Lings, and I think he might have to cancel this command center, which would be very unfortunate. He cancels the depot, loses the SCV. He's going to have to cancel this command center. He does lose the SCV progress on it. He's going immediately for a Widow Mine, but he's not going to be able to save it. There's too much left to build. The second SCV will be taken out. And 2 Marines are not enough to handle 6 Lings. If he moves down, he will lose them. And yeah, he has to wall off. He does manage to scare the Zerg off, actually, but he is, in the end, he is forced to cancel that command center. So a devastating blow here to the Terran player. Starting the Italians, but his macro is suffering tremendously. He's got nearly 1,000 minerals, 200 gas. Zerg is already up to 14 drones here at the natural, throwing down 3 extractors at once. Looks like our Zerg player's macro is falling a bit behind as well. But with all these Lings, and now he's got 2 Queens at the front for defense, so these Hellions should not do anything. He will continue building those Hellions, queuing them up a bit as well. 2 more barracks going down. But the Terran player is in a very sore spot, and most importantly, as we see, he is not rebuilding his second command center. So it looks like this is going to be a 1 base all-in. Zerg now mining from these 3 geysers, getting a lot of gas quickly, starting that speed. I imagine we'll see the lair coming in next. Hellions rallying out piecemeal from the Terran. But with all these Lings and speed on the way, it is, again, against this number of Queens, it's unlikely they'll be able to actually do damage. The Lings do need to stay at home, though. They don't have speed, so they cannot go on the map against these Hellions. 5 Hellions now running in. They will snipe 1 Cube Tumor. Don't go for the second one. They're focusing down to Queen. More Queens will need to be rallied. They do get the second Cube Tumor as well, but 3 freshmen still remain. And he runs the Lings out. That's a mistake. He loses half of them in the process. 16 more Lings being rallied. A lot of Hellions here, but 3 Queens should be enough to hold the ground. What do we have for the Terran player? We have an Armory, Stim Pack on the way. No second command center. He is all in here. He finished the Armory, so he might be looking to transform into Hellbats here. But he's not making the transformation yet. And speed is about to finish, so these Hellions are about to get surrounded. They will run here, but now the Speedlings can go toe-to-toe with them. And it looks like they'll grab 1. Yeah, they do grab the 1. And then they're going to run from the remaining 3. We'll run up to the natural here, which may be sacrificial against these 5 Hellions on the map, but actually the Zerg can completely afford to do this. With his 3 bases, lair on the way, plenty of drones, 41 drones versus 19, doubling the work. Again, I can't emphasize this enough, there is no second command center. There's no exit plan here for the Terran. He's on 1 base forever at this point. Producing out of all of these buildings, looks like he slacked a little bit on that. Had a bit of a mineral buildup. He could throw down another command center, but it would be very late at this point. Bunch of Lings flooding out. We do have 1-1 started at these Evil Chambers for the Zerg. So he is heading towards that late game. Banding that's already done. He might try to bust here. Instead, he's just going to, looks like, just overwhelm the front of the Zerg Lings. This command center is not going to survive. That will have to be canceled here. Very scared to go up the ramp. That is a realistic Zerg concern. And he actually gets in over the depot here, so the Lings will get the flood in. And the numbers are dwindling, but the Hellions get sniped, and now it's just SCVs versus Speed Lings. The SCVs are getting massacred. They will, there's enough of them to survive, but he is reset back down to 19 SCVs, where it was a short while ago. Zerg will not be able to get in. He's going to go for it with the Bane Rings. Spire is on the way somewhere. I don't see where it is. Is it under these overloads? Oh, there it is. So Spire is on the way. Tons of Lings. Banding's going to go in for the bust here, and they will get it with this depot being jammed. Bandings will also get a good splash off on the units. Lings flooding in. There's not enough here. I believe this is it for our Terran player. Hold position, they're all lining. There are no SCVs left. And no GG, but the game does end either way. So we are now going into match number 3 in Google Cardboard versus Western Digital. It's going to be here on Vaani Research Station. Very interesting horizontally compact 1v1 map. It's going to be a PvP, so unfortunately I will not be able to designate players by race. It is going to be the blue Protoss Chuckie playing here for Google Cardboard versus the green Protoss GibMirBenzin. I'm just going to call him Benzin. Spawning in the northern position for Western Digital. So PvP is a very volatile matchup, and it is a 1v1 here. So we may see some particularly aggressive strategies. Proxies are extremely dangerous on 1v1 maps, as you do not need to scout your opponent to know where to place the proxy. We did have a little bit of lag, but it seems to be better now. So we should be okay. Pylon's going down. Pylon going down a bit earlier here for Chuckie, so it looks like he's going to be a little bit ahead on that probe production. We have an early scout out for Benzin, scouting after Pylon. We'll see what he's looking for here. Generally, the only thing you could be looking for here would be to scout for proxies, you know, after the Pylon, because all Protoss builds for the first 4 minutes of the game, they all look the same. It's Gateway, Cybercore, Double Gas. He is going to hide this probe here, actually, so we may see some proxy action. Gateway is already on the way for Chuckie, though. We have Gateway spawning here, as though spawning at the wall, as though against a Zerg, which is probably shouldn't be too much of a big deal. It's an interesting building placement. We'll see what this probe does. No gases yet. Alright, there go the gases. Both gases go down for Chuckie. Just one. No, both go down for Benzin as well. Looks like he is going to scout the back of his base with that probe, just to make sure there's no shenanigans going on back there. Scouting probe for Chuckie goes in. Sees nothing out of the ordinary. Pylon goes down here. So I think what we're gonna see some proxy tech coming here from Benzin. We'll just throw this probe in there to scout. Does see the Cybercore. Starts his own Cybercore a bit later than his opponents, though. So he is paying for this early probe. It looks like he did send it out a lot earlier than he needed to, possibly with the intent just to hide. We have Chuckie's probe going home, and unfortunately, Benzin's followed him all the way there. Where is the scout? Okay, the scout is being followed. Second probe returning home. There's no probe by this pylon. The cyber core is done. So he may just be using this for warping in. But again, for sending out to probe that early and double gas, that's not... It looks like this is just going to be a proxy pylon. There's no probe down here to throw a Twilight Council, or a Dark Shine, or a Stargate. Mothership core is out for Chuckie. It has not been started here for Benzin. He's going to throw down 2 more gateways, and it looks like he's going to throw down a 4th. So he is going to go for that aggression. But he's got a bit too much gas for it. Nexus going down for Chuckie. This map is unique in that you only have to hold this main ramp. Your natural is in the back of your base. There's no land route back here. You have to go through the main to attack it. Mothership Core finds this pylon. He did scout that, so he may send something to go get it. He may just retreat the Mothership Core 50. Oh no, he's going to assault this pylon. Mothership Core is very slow, so he might not get it before Warp Gate is done. Just the 3 gateways here for Benzin. But if he loses this pylon, his aggression is going to be stunted terribly. 1 gate Robo here for Chuckie starts 2 more gateways. Warp Gate is just about done. He's got 8 more seconds, but it looks like this pylon is going to die just in the nick of time. He may start some warp-ins here, but he chooses not to. He will lose that pylon, which is an excellent pickup here. Scouting Probe also sees the gateway moon that's moving out, so he does know that his opponent plans on being aggressive. It is carting out that Immortal immediately after the Observer. Looks like he will just hold the main ramp here. And he's starting the forward pylon now, but with no nexus, no tech. Oh, he does have 4 gateways. I missed the 4th one. Another proxy pylon going down, but he cannot warp into the natural. It is way too far. Pylons cannot reach. So he's going to hold out here. Starts a Robo. So we've got 4 gate Robo on 1 base versus a 2 base Protoss who is on 3 gate Robo. But he's got the ramp. He's got 2 sentries. He's got an overcharge. He's almost at the 2nd overcharge. He's going to move in with the Star now, but he's got no blink. So this force is not as threatening as one would think. As long as he lands the force fields and protects his Immortal, he will be fine. He needs to throw down a force field though. Can't afford to... Sentries are getting targeted. Mothership Core goes down. No force field. Loses both the sentries. Oh no. Unfortunately, Chuckie here seems to be asleep at the ramp. The Immortal gets focused down. More weapons coming. Chrono on the Robo, but the Robo was not producing. It was actually going to take a lot of damage here. It's turning out that Immortal now. And now 7 Stalkers coming in with the Mothership Core. This might be GG. He focuses down that pylon. Robo on gateway, unpowered. GG is called. So that puts the score 2-1 in favor of Western Digital here. We'll be moving on to Game 4 in a bit. Alright, here we go. We are heading into Game 4 here between Google Cardboard and Western Digital. It is match point for Western Digital. They lead 2-1 in the series thus far. It is a best 3 out of 5. So if they take this one, the series will be over. If they do not, we will go to an ace match. Both teams will split off to choose their players. So it is going to be a TVZ. We have Durin, the blue Terran, spawning here in the southern position for Google Cardboard. And we have FlyHead, the green Zerg, spawning in the northeasterly position for Western Digital. So this is, I believe, yes, this is just a 1v1 map. This channel is actually fairly reminiscent of Zalmaga Caverns. A lot wider though. So we have gold bases here in the middle, extremely exposed, very vulnerable. Zerg player getting that Overlord, no early pool here. Standard depot going down here at the ramp, fairly tight ramp, but it will be used properly. And we're off. We'll see what happens here. Who does what? Not much to read into at the moment. The natural actually has a small ramp, so it's extremely defensible. That definitely promotes a macro game over here. Both for the Zerg and the Terran. The Zerg can very easily wall off against Hellions, and likewise the Terran can very easily wall off against Lings. We actually have a gas before racks here for durin. So this gas immediately after racks suggests Reaper. Gas before suggests a factory. He is only mining it with one SCV at the moment, though. Second SCV is very busy denying the base. Still just one SCV in the gas, so he's not getting much from this early gas. Could have built it later at this point. Barracks almost done. Second supply depot going down a little bit early. And we have the hatchery go down, so he decides he's just not even going to fight that SCV. He's just going to go throw it out on a fairly distant third. Spawning pool, gas in the main. Orbital command. Reaper starting. But again, just one SCV on gas. So this is something that can definitely be optimized. You can just build the gas later and, again, mine it with 3 SCVs. We'll see what he uses the rest of this gas for. There he goes. 2 more SCVs onto that gas. Natural hatchery half done. Has our Terran player seen the hatchery? He has not. So he may be expecting a 1-base play here, which could be very dangerous for him. He does throw down the CC anyway, but he is going to throw it down in the main and keep it safe. Barracks shifts immediately to Marines. Overlord is at a very safe distance. It's not going to scout anything or get shot down anytime soon. SCV returning home. Reaper going out, and he may cross paths with his hatchery. He's going to see this hatchery immediately. And Queen does start there. No drones are going to transfer there anytime soon. Oh, I didn't notice this. There's actually destructible rocks here on the back side of the main. So that's interesting. That may come into play later. Third base going down at the natural for FlyHead here. Reaper poking around. He's taking pot shots on the hatchery, so he's scouting everything, but he's not getting any useful information or doing. That's not true. He is getting base information, but he's not seeing any gas timings or tech in the main. And most importantly, he's not doing damage, which is something Zerg is very happy about. He doesn't have to be micro any drones. He's not going to lose any lanes. Reaper needs to run from this queen, and he does. Lings could have taken some pot shots at him, but the Reaper probably would have gotten away anyway. You see in the main, production really ramping up. Starport, 2 more barracks. Factory is done. Second orbital on the way. No second gas yet. Tech lab going down on the factory, actually. So he may be going for some tanks. He may be going for Banshee as well. If he wants to switch the starport over here. Tech lab going down on the first barracks. See what he throws at the. Some scouting Lings going out. We should see the Terran take his natural by now, and yes, he will. He'll go to protect it with these 4 Marines. Again, with a Zerg player on 3 hatcheries so early, he does not really need to be afraid of Ling flooding. 2 Lings will move in here, but they're almost surely going to die. The Reaper can choose to chase them down if he wants. So those all get taken out. Zerg player is fairly in the dark here. What happened to his Overlord? That might have gone in and been killed. I haven't seen what happened to that. Inject's finishing up. Zerg pulling a little bit ahead in worker count on these 3 bases, but again, he's not building very many units right now. He's just working to saturate these 3 bases that he got very quickly. Marines building out engineering bay on the way. But still, this starport and this factory are not being used quite yet. Second gas does go down. 2 more gases start at the natural. That's probably too early. Zerg is on just getting his second geyser now, so he's not looking to rush Mutalisk. Or he will be taking a number of more geysers. Evolution chamber going down. No buildings out here. He's going to take down these destructible rocks, which that is a very good idea for the Zerg. You want the mobility to defend your third more easily, to be able to run around versus drops more easily. 3 of them run in and immediately get destroyed. So we will be using this factory here. It looks like it gets the 1 tank. And I'm just going to switch into Widow Mines. Medevac coming out. Barracks and Armory. +1 on the way. +1 attack at the engineering base. So Terran is gearing up towards a late game. As is the Zerg. The Zerg drone count is actually getting very healthy. Not as high as it could be at this point, but 3 bases, 53 drones, that's not bad. A little undersaturated. He's going to need to start taking these geysers to get more bang for his drones. As we head into the mid-late game here, Zerg will want that gas for Mutalisks, for Banelings, for upgrades. 2 geysers is not quite enough to power all of that. +1 melee starting a second Evo chamber, but no lair yet, so we're going to see a really late lair from the Zerg player. Other Merlin, we have no map presence for the Zerg. He doesn't have the watchtowers. He's got no overlord spread. He's going to run out with a bunch of lings here. But with 2 tanks, I think the Terran will be okay. As long as he sieges the second one up quickly. Actually loses a bunch of lings to a Widow Mine and retreats the rest. Very good scare tactic there. Drop about to go in. Probably going to get a bunch of drones. Zerglings are not running back to defend it. He's going to drop right here, so he's going to announce his presence and kill an Overlord. Lings will run back to defend, but with the rocks not yet down, he can actually abuse this position really well. Hops into the medevac, and we'll see where he goes. And yeah, he's just going to drop on the south side. He's going to abuse the fact that these rocks have not been destroyed. In the meantime, starting a 3rd command center. More barracks. Lifts up the Marines again. After killing the Queen, it looks like. Macro hatch about to finish for the Zerg. Lair done, but no Spire on the way just yet. +1 carapace halfway on the way. So the Terran, if he keeps his production up, unfortunately these barracks are not really producing. We actually have a heavy supply block here for the Terran. Terran actually needs to sit back for a bit. Despite his early play, he's still only sitting on 2 bases. Zerg has gotten away with these 3. Drone damage has not been done. Zerg may run in here, and that's a mistake. He's going to lose a bunch of Zerg to the Widow Mine again. And he cannot engage. Again, with the tanks and the Widow Mines, this is not a front he can try to push. He can deny the 3rd. Terran will probably not take a 3rd for a little while, but throwing away those units throws away part of his lead. These pokes at the front without Mutalisks to scout ahead and pick off the tanks are not well advised. Looks like he's thinking about trying to break into the back rocks here, but the Terran is extremely aware of that threat. And the surface area is very minimal. It's actually going to take you quite a while. And again, a single tank on the high ground is all the Terran player needs behind that. Very good for him. Zerglings may run back in here. He needs to be very careful with these Banelings. There's still 2 Widow Mines here. Ready to do a lot of damage. Despite the Zerg player's economy lead, he's actually starting to fall a bit behind here. These pokes are not doing any damage. He's just throwing away units with the Terran player's defense. He's got a lot of Lings, a lot of Banelings. His 1-1 is done, but he isn't thinking about +2 yet. While the Terran has +2 attack on the way and vehicle weapons. More Banelings building. Zerg is maintaining a fairly large force, but the Terran force is just getting larger and more upgrades. So we'll see how these how the Terran players micro goes. Widow Mines run in, Banelings run in. Surround. Oh no. Loses a ton of bio there. Another Widowmine hit goes off, takes out a ton of the force. Small mistake there. So a very good initial trade here for the Zerg. But he doesn't finish off the tanks and uses the rest of his army up here versus the tanks. So Terran is actually okay. Terran is down in supply. He did lose some workers. We see both players floating a lot of money. Unfortunately, the Zerg is going to be the only one who can suddenly take advantage of that with the Spire finishing. So we're gonna see a Mutilus flood, and then the Terran player is going to definitely be on the back foot here. Lots more Lings and Banelings coming into the front. Terran player needs to engage very carefully. He cannot get surrounded and run over by Banelings like he did before. It's not a loss he can afford to take again. Zerg trying to poke ahead and take out these Widowmines. Debatable whether that actually was up. Terran actually got most of the stuff in the medevacs, so he did not lose very much at all. But all these buildings and SCVs are going to getting taken out, so while the Zerg is not trading well, he's on 3 base versus 2, and he's constantly denying the Terran player's third. He does throw a bunch of units away again, and that the Terran player now actually has an army advantage. Zerg has a ton of minerals, but he doesn't have the gas to back up this Mutaswitch, so he actually only has 4 Mutalists building at the current moment. And if Terran gets all this stuff together, he'll be able to do a fairly devastating push. The Banelings are over here. They're going to roll in, but the Widowmines are recharged. He's going to bait them out with Zerglings, but the tank's covered, so he can't actually run in here. Banelings are going to get taken. Nope. Almost get taken out by the Widowmine. Bunch of more Zerg army gets thrown away, and now that it's swung, Zerg is going for a 4th and a 5th simultaneously, but his army supply is significantly lower than the Terran's. If the Terran recognizes this and goes for a push, he could do a lot of damage. More Lings and Mutalists flooding. +1 armor, just about to finish. Bunch of units sitting back here, unfortunately. Looks like they've been misrouted. He is going to flood those Banelings again. Terran player needs to go for a push. He needs to take his third. He's going to go take that now. Overseers, unfortunately, will not be able to throw down the goop necessary to deny it. Terran player is sitting here waiting, producing. He's got a Thor on the way. That'll definitely help against the Mutilus. Looks like Zerg is thinking about attacking there. But every moment the Terran wastes, the Zerg building more and more stuff. Banelings do a lot of damage, take out a bunch of the bio, no splits, and just like that, armies are equalized again. Zerg supply is in the lead. Starting more Banelings here. Terran player will be getting his third now. He'll probably start transferring some workers over there immediately. Overseers idly running away from their own multi-die. Terran player is spread out now, so the Zerg's ability for aggression is increased. He's not really taking advantage of these 4th and 5th bases just yet, so right now they are just macro hatcheries, effectively. More Lings, Banelings, more Mutalists. Mutalists flying in here, they're going to snipe the armory. They're going to take out that upgrade, and that's going to halt Thor production. Very unfortunate. We have 2 turrets defending the mineral armory. The armory will go down. We'll see if he tries to sweep in the back here. Lings and Banes hovering out here. Zerg has pretty good map control at this point. Still doesn't have this watchtower. Should really have that in this one as well. Mutalists retreating. We're just going to hover around. Zerglings run in, and it's going to be another great sacrifice for the Terran Neutral. Unfortunately, he is going to get 1 tank for his troubles, but he loses so many Zerglings to do that. The Terran player will lift up, and again, no splits on the bio, so he loses a ton of bio to those Banelings again. Seems to be our Terran player's weakness at the moment. Turret might catch fire. Zerglings and Banelings here, but it's not enough to fight this army. SCVs will rally back in. Mutalisk fire, magic box of Thor. No turrets for defense here. So, Terran player is really starting to get stretched out a bit. More Zerglings and Banelings running. There's a bunch of Banelings to that Widowmire. Again, we've got two weaknesses here. We've got the Zerg player persistently sacrificing his ground units to the Terran meat grinder. The Terran just doesn't have the micro to handle the base. Zergling's just taking top shots here. Splash actually taking them. May not have been intentional. Bunch of Mutalisks in the main. They're not trading super well versus the Marines. They're not going to win. Not with the reinforcements on the Metamax. So the Mutalisks have been annoying, but they haven't actually done a whole lot of damage. We've seen the supplies, armies again, fairly equal. This third is keeping the Terran alive. He really needs this third. He cannot afford to lose this. And he needs to start thinking about building another command center. Both players sitting on enormous banks. FlyHead with only about 800 gas, so no major ultralisk or giant Mutalisk swarms coming in anytime soon. The durin has a lot. He can afford to really ramp up his production at this point. Fox sitting out here, Mutalisk still hovering back by the main. 4 turrets going down, armory getting rebuilt. So this may be the end of the Mutalist harass over the main. Tank sitting back here needs to defend them. These could get picked off really easily. 3 tanks up here. Zerg pulling way ahead in army supply, starting that flyer Terran pace, and he's going swarm hosts and hive at once. What are his upgrades? He does have 2-2. Our Terran player has 3-2, actually. Here come the wings and the banelings. Marines are going to stand for a little while. They're utterly surrounded. Watt is going to go down. They will get stimmed and killed. So everything's running here. A lot of them are lost, but now all these buildings have to be canceled. All the SCVs are going to get taken out here. Turrets will get some overspeed. The orbital will live, but all the workers go down. Army will rally here in the main. I think this is enough. I think he has enough army to survive. But his economy is really starting here. He's 40 SCVs, 60 drones. His main is mined out, and his natural is just about mined out. So he needs this third. He has no longevity without it. Mutalisk going after the orbital. They might actually get it if the ground army can't go toe-to-toe with his main baneling. But at this point, he should be able to just transfer his main orbital as well. This is not relatively a great loss. He will lose the orbital. With all those mills, that's quite unfortunate. So he should immediately start to fly this main orbital out here because he needs money. He's got no mining. Huge bank, but no mining. We'll see if the Zerg tries to run into the meat grinder again. But ideally, he should wait. He should go for swarm hosts or maybe ultralisks. Army sitting out here. The sensor tower is worth its weight in gold to the Terran player right now. Mutalist sitting over here. It's looking very dire for our Terran. He's got a relatively decent army count for the Zerg. I think he can win an engagement, but then what? He's got a ton of idle SCVs, no third, no mining. Natural has got 1 mineral patch left, and it's got only 95 minerals, just down from 100. 5 swarm hosts building, so the clock is on the Terran. He's got to do something. The Zerg is actually building a huge gas bank now. So even if the Terran does somehow manage to trade against this army and take it all out, the potential for a giant remax is going to be there. We don't see an ultimate capture, that won't happen. And we see that he runs into the meat grinder and wins. Takes out all the bio. GG is called. That'll be and that's it. Very good base controlling play from our Zerg player. Western Digital does take the series with that match 3-1, and so they will start the AHGL off with a 1-0 match record going into the next week. Google Cardboard takes a loss, playing a different team. It is a Swiss type matchmaking, so the opponent you play in the next match will be one who has the same record as you going thus far. So as the tournament goes on, teams will be more and more paired against teams of equal skill, equal competence. So with that, we bring a close to this week. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for playing, and we will catch you next time on the AHGL.